Recording in progress. Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Good morning to everybody.
Morning,
You
sir.
are welcome. Morning, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you very much.
Good, good.
Thank you. You are welcome to this meeting. We will be dealing with 3 items. The first one will be the shortlisting for the position of the Deputy Public Protector, followed by the directives on the Child Justice Act, and then the issue of the reports on the magistrates. That will be our last item on the agenda. Are there any additional items that members would like to add? None. Can I have apologies? Committee Secretary, do you have any apologies?
Morning, Chair. No, not on our side, Chair. We didn't receive any. Thank you.
Thank you. Usually, Honorable Swart will attend the Chief Whips Forum on Wednesdays. He might not join us today. So if he's not around, you must know that he is attending the Chief Whips Forum. Thank you very much. Can I now invite Ms. Jill Gisbert to take us through the criteria?
Sorry, Chair, just an apology on my side at 11:30, I'll be joining the Joint Rules Subcommittee.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you can also forward my apology, Honorable Judge, in the rules subcommittee, because
We'll do
yes,
so.
Thank you very much. Ms. Gilbert.
Chairperson, morning, Chairperson. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the presentation this morning, and C is going to be assisting me with the slides. Chairperson, I'm just going to start. Chair, Christine has already provided a high-level presentation to the committee on the appointment process. The purpose of this presentation is to provide a brief overview of the guidelines document. The guidelines document considers 4 broad themes when it comes to the appointment of the Deputy Public Protector. Firstly, the roles and responsibilities of the office. Secondly, the appointment criteria, specifically the essential criteria as set out in the legislation, as well as certain supplementary criteria. Thirdly, we'll consider the stakeholder relationships that the Deputy Public Protector may be expected to develop. And finally, to consider who possibly may not be suitable for the position. Chair, when considering the role of the DPP, there's some guidance provided in the legislation. Firstly, the DPP's powers are delegated by the Public Protector. Secondly, this is someone who has the potential to take over as the Public Protector, should circumstances dictate. And on that basis, this person should have the capacity to be able to take on that role. And thirdly, the DPP has a role to assist or support the Public Protector in the performance of the critical functions under both the Act and the Constitution. Chair, the committee will be very familiar with both the Constitution and the requirements of the legislation. The assistance or support required from the DPP relates to the core functions as set out in the Constitution, which namely investigate, report, take appropriate remedial action, and of course, critically be accessible to all persons and communities. The committee will also be very familiar with the Public Protector Act, which provides for extensive powers of investigation. Thanks, Thea. In respect of delegated responsibilities, Chairperson, this is a bit more challenging. There's no detail provided in the legislation, and in the absence of this, and unfortunately, it's really ultimately an internal arrangement between the Public Protector and the DPP. But in the absence of information, there is some limited information available publicly, which the committee could consider. And this provides for some of the roles that previous DPPs have been required to perform by the Public Protector, such as chairing management meetings, approving systemic investigations, sitting in certain interview panels, representing the PPSA in functions, workshops, and symposiums, staff training, overseeing the backlog of old complaints, as well as quality checking draft reports and notices sent to implicated parties for response. The Chairperson of the committee could also consider some of the responsibilities set out in a draft job description, which was being provided by the Independent Remuneration Commission. They've drafted job descriptions for all commissioners and all heads of the Chapter 9 institutions. In their view, some of the roles or the responsibilities of the DPP could be providing strategic advice on policy issues, establishing positive relationships and collaborating with stakeholders, implementing public protector policies and decisions, and leading and directing staff, ensuring the PPSA structure and the staff operate effectively and efficiently to implement the necessary programs and services, ensuring all the resources under that person's control are maximized to meet the goals of the institution, and possibly foster leadership skills throughout the organization. Chair, in respect of appointment criteria, the committee will once again, this is not a new process to the committee. They'll be very familiar with the prescription of the legislation, which states a South African citizen, a fit and proper person, and certain experience in terms of 10 years as an advocate or attorney or law lecturer, or in the administration of justice, public administration, or public finance. This is the baseline from which the committee can then consider appointments. Secondly, Chair, the issue of, thanks, Thea, of supplementary criteria. This is based on the concept of what a fit and proper person might be for the role. Once again, we consider 4 supplementary criteria. It's important to note, Chair, this is not really new to the committee, because throughout the 6th Parliament, they've taken the same approach to all the appointments they've made in respect of Chapter 9's institutions. But the committee's looked at experience. The baseline is provided by the legislation in terms of legal experience or administration of justice, public administration, public finance, or as an MP. But other levels of experience that a candidate may be required to demonstrate include obviously working in a team, being able to build effective relationships. The PP is involved with a lot of stakeholders at various levels, and obviously the public. Experience of alternative dispute resolution procedures, show an ability to effectively lead staff and manage projects, as well as experience in overseeing administrative investigations. Well, this would be an advantage, perhaps in an oversight environment. Secondly, Chair, the skill set, obviously technical. Also, this is probably also a baseline requirement to be able to understand and correctly apply legal prescripts, possibly have investigative and analytical skills, strong organizational and administrative skills, supervisory skills. Obviously, communication and interpersonal skills are critical. Leadership and management skills, mediation, negotiation, and conciliation skills, conflict resolution, also important. Innovation, the committee is very familiar with the constraints, especially around the budget and issues of access facing the institution. So someone who can think innovatively, I think, would benefit the organization as well. Obviously, language is also critical. Characteristics, Chairperson, this also is in line with the issue of a fit and proper person, and also the very nature of the institution, the public protector. This is someone who would probably need to be impartial, ethical, objective, accountable, and honest, as well as being competent. Finally, Chair, I think the fourth category we consider is knowledge. Obviously, you want someone who has knowledge of the role, function, and powers of the PPSA, an understanding of its constitutional mandate, and the importance of its independence and impartiality, knowledge of basic legal prescripts and concepts. Critical to the public protector is an appreciation of social justice and the intended impact of the office, especially on the lives of ordinary South Africans who may have experienced poor service delivery. I think an advantage would be knowledge of public administration and clearly some understanding of the challenges facing the institution. Chair, in respect of this criteria, I think possibly it may only be measured once the committee is interviewing a candidate. Chairperson, the DPP, I think this is important that the DPP is obviously someone who's capable of developing and maintaining stakeholder relationships. Fundamental is the relationship with the public protector, as well as employees, all the employees of the organization. But there's also external relationships, critically the complainants, the people of South Africa. This person could be dealing with Parliament, with various members of the executive, the provincial legislators, civil society, various officials, as well as the Forum for Institutions Supporting Democracy. So they're going to be talking to other Chapter 9 bodies. Finally, Chairperson, thanks, Sia. Chair, you know that the Act does not unfortunately prescribe who may not be appointed to the position. However, I mean, as in the past, I think the committees, may have concern about a candidate who has been convicted of an offence involving fraud or misrepresentation or corruption, has been dismissed or asked to resign from employment, has been involved in any matter involving questionable ethical conduct, and someone whose a legal or professional body has found guilty of any unprofessional, unethical, or disgraceful conduct. Thank you very much, Chairperson and members.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nesbitt, for the presentation. Members, any questions or comments? I think it's very clear. Thank you very much, Advocate Mkhwebane.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think I've sent you a message earlier and indicated that it was also going to be very much helpful for us to have a preliminary of all the candidates, but that's another issue which we will discuss. But I think what is critical is that even from the shortlist, the presenter is speaking about especially the expertise of that person, because the caliber of a person which normally is delegated the responsibilities of by the public protector relates to service failures or service delivery failures, which was covered in the expertise which is needed. And she said we might pick that up during the interviews. But I think even from the short list, that's a key criteria we should be looking into, because that person should have worked in the service delivery. In fact, that we can pick up from their CV, whether they've worked in the service delivery related department or any government administration, or even in the private sector, because if it relates to customer related issues. So I think that we can pick up now when we shortlist. I think it's one thing we should be looking into. But then that spreadsheet, Chairperson, for other positions, that would be helpful, because because now we must calculate the years, the 10 years, whether indeed it was in the legal spheres, and whether the person actually has that capability to perform that particular role. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mkhwebane. Any other comment? I think we will take all of those things into consideration, but I must also mention that the environment under which we were working under, especially the Secretariat and the Research Unit, was not an ideal one. Firstly, we struggled even to get Parliament to advertise. At some point, we were told that people are on leave. People will only be coming back on the 22nd of January. After that, there was a problem of getting the codes, and there was just a lot of problems around the procurement, which has really delayed us. And when we eventually started with the process, we were running against time. To the extent that certain things were not done, I would like to apologize on behalf of the staff, especially the issue of the spreadsheet. They were working under enormous pressure because we did not get proper support, despite the fact that we were told that we need to finish this process before this term ends. But we were delayed, seriously delayed by the administration of Parliament, and that has impacted on the quality of the work that we eventually had to do because we did not have time. So they did not have time to do the spreadsheets and other things. So I would like to apologize on behalf of the Secretariat, the Research Unit, and the Chair. It was because of circumstances beyond our control, and we were to work under tremendous pressure. Honorable Janji.
No, thanks, Chair. My hand is just triggered by what you have presented, which I appreciate and is very important. I just wanted us to flag that issue in the two areas so that when we conclude this as part of our report, we need to flag this issue. But secondly, in our legacy report, because I find it unacceptable that your administration, worse, you have a section that is supposed to be looking after in support of these heads of Chapter 9 institution in the Speaker's office or in Parliament. And therefore, one doubts the effectiveness of that, because we would have struggled even before around this, and that needs to be jacked up so that it becomes more functional and operational. You don't just need to have warm bodies there, and when we need support, we don't get that. We can't be told that things can only happen on the 22nd of January when there are pressures that Parliament needs to attend, when it's going to rise on the end of March and so on. So I'm just saying, let's flag both for our report at the end of these interviews, but also when we deal with the Justice Legacy report, we should be able to reflect on that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Janji, for that. I definitely think that we should do that. And thank you, Honorable Mkhwebane, for the issues you've raised. Can we now proceed to agree on the process? Members, you know that in 2019, we did the interviews for the position of the Deputy Public Protector, and we appointed a Deputy Public Protector. And one of the issues that members raised strongly was that we can't have interviews that run through the night. It becomes unfair on the candidates who sit the whole day being anxious to be called to wait for the whole day and part of the night, and it becomes also unfair on the members who will need to evaluate every candidate and listen to every candidate fairly with an open mind. So last time we agreed that we would have interviews over 2 days. We would need to agree on the number of candidates to be shortlisted. And then we also need to agree whether the interviews will be physical or virtual. I thought that I must not take those decisions. The committee should take those particular decisions. But I thought that I must just recap as to what our decisions were when we're dealing with the same situation, and whether do we still stick to those decisions, or do you want to amend or take new decisions? Honorable Breitenbach.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, I'm not, as everybody knows, I'm not in favor of long shortlists because that defeats the object of shortlisting. Shortlisting means exactly that, a shortlist. So enough, it's an important position, enough potential candidates to give us a good overview of what we're looking for. But I would again suggest not more than at the very maximum 8. I'd prefer it to be less, 6. So between 6 and 8. And I would prefer the interviews to be in person, Chair, because I think it's important to actually interact with the candidates and actually see them in action. Those are my views. Thank you.
And you would like to get company in Cape Town?
And 2 days, over 2 days. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And you would like to get company in Cape Town alone?
Oh, I've got gifts for everybody on the committee. So it would be all of your best interest to come to Cape Town.
Okay. Honorable Ngala.
Thank you very much, Chair. I agree fully with 2 days, maximum days for interviews, and the physical interviews, was they seem to be very much well coordinated when they are physical. You'd understand that at some point members and even some candidates would have network problems and all those things. So when they are physical, it were able to even to manage the issues of time and all that, so that we don't drag longer than we actually planned to. Chair, I think let's take. I'll increase a little bit from Honorable Breitenbach and say let's make 10 at least, and I'm saying that, Chair, because the number of the applicants. And it has a lot of the CVs that were shared to members. Those we have a number of potential proper fit and proper people who have applied and who have been nominated. So if you can increase a little bit, say 10, 11, 12, I would actually appreciate. I think 6 is too much. It will have us problems because there are a lot of capable nominees and applicants. So at least let's increase a little bit from that number. It's a proposal from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mkhwebane.
Thanks, Chairperson. I would agree with the Honorable Breitenbach on the number 6 to 8. If we will be very strict on the requirements, especially the 10 years experience, advocate, attorney, or public administration, dealing with the issues of constitutional, administrative related experience. And then as well, if we shortlist 6, Chairperson, for me, we can do 6 candidates. If we are only dealing with those 6 candidates, we can do them in a day, because if we take 1 hour per candidate, we have 6 to 7 hours and we are done. So that's my proposal. But yes, it's up to the committee to decide. The fact of the matter of doing it 2 days, sometimes it gives a disadvantage to the other candidates of who were interviewed first day, because the ones who will be interviewed the second day have an opportunity. Remember, this process is public, Chairperson. So I think that's one thing which I am very much careful in holding them in 2 days. But yeah, that's my input. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Any more hands? Maybe what we should do, we should have soft boundaries. Honorable Janji?
No, Chair. My only small addition, I'm covered by the members that have spoken, is to, as part of the criteria in the shortlisting, that whether it's 8 that we are shortlisting or 10, I would suggest that the minimum 50% of those 8 or 10 be women. And I'm saying minimum because it could be more. So, and you just have to go and look into the list, and that will assist us. So that's the only addition I want to make. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What I would suggest is that let's just have soft boundaries. If we reach 8 and members have no other names, or we reach 6, we will not force members to have more names. But I think if members strongly feel that they still have people that they strongly believe that they should be listed, then we can move up to 10, 12. But it will be up to you. It is in your hands. So, but I think let's have the numbers at the back of our mind that preferably we need between 8 and 12. But if we have less than that and we are satisfied with the list of members that have been nominated, then it will be fine. And we should really observe the 50%, in fact, the quite a strong representation of women to be shortlisted. Is that in order?
That's in order.
Thank you very much.
That's in order, Chair.
Thank you very much. Now let's start. And I think I would appreciate if members would, when motivating for a name, indicate whether it's a male or a female, so that the Secretariat will be able to count how many women have been nominated. I now open for nominations. Advocate Mkhwebane.
Apology, Chair, it's not a nomination, it's just for your information as members of the committee, that I should have raised it in the criteria and everything, that in terms of the Public Protector Act, the Deputy Public Protector is the only employee of the Public Protector who can do any other work outside of the work of the Public Protector. That's provided for in the Public Protector Act. It's just that I was still tracing the relevant section. So just put that at the back of your mind as members of the committee. And I also, on the issue of the recommendations, I don't know, do we deal name by name and eliminate, or we propose names, and then out of those names, then we can deliberate? That's one issue I would want just to check with you.
Thank you. I think what we would do is for a person to nominate a name, and we take those names that have been nominated, provided they don't exceed the number we've agreed on. A person would motivate why he or she is nominating a particular person in line with the criteria that we have adopted. Because we don't want also situations of motivations and of demotivations at this stage when we are still going to go to interviews, unless a person does not meet the criteria stated in law. The ones that, in fact, we have also made mentions of, Advocate Mkhwebane, the requirements, the tenure requirements as an advocate or as an attorney or as a teacher of law. If a person clearly does not meet those criteria, that person cannot be shortlisted. But I think a person who meets that criteria, and because we want to balance a situation where parties have their shortlisted candidate are respected to be on the list, and the biggest eliminator will be the interviews, but we should not exceed the number that we have agreed upon. Honorable Jelly.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. My hand is just for nomination, Chair.
Okay, please proceed.
Oh, we've already proceeded. I've got, Chair, do we give you one name at a go, or we just give you two, one or two, or what? Can I
think
just?
it will depend on the nominator.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Chairperson. My first name is Advocate Siphokazi Muleshe. She's a woman. She meet the criteria. She has been on the senior management level in the public service. She is an admitted advocate of the High Court of South Africa, Chair. She's currently on non-practicing role of the Legal Practice Council. I'll just mention, just to cover the issue, she qualifies, Chair. The position currently, Chair, that she's holding is Chief Director, as a Chief Director, Corporate Services at Department of Social Development. I thought this is one strong point that I thought maybe it will cover what Comrade Mkhwebane was talking about earlier in terms of service delivery issues. Somebody who is
Point
strong
of
also
exigency, Chairperson.
Is that a point of order?
Yes, not well. I don't want it to put it like that. Just something which will make our work easy and so that we all follow. I'll propose that the Secretariat can screen the CV of the nominated candidate for all of us. So that we can follow and assist Chairperson in checking those requirements.
Yes, I'm not sure, Honorable Mkhwebane, because I think the CVs were sent to all members.
No, it's fine, Chairperson. It's fine. I'll open it. It's fine.
Yes, I think
I'm proposing a simpler way of transparency for all of us.
Yeah, because it might take time, and we still need to do other items on the agenda. And I just take it that the CVs were and members have gone through all the CVs.
Okay. Can you repeat the name of the candidate again and what number on the list?
No, some of the Chairperson, some of the names were given one individual. You know, there was a problem of giving us in a group on the list. I don't know. I don't have that list. I just picked this the names that I wanted from all the names which were sent to us. So I can't say number one. Where I am, can I continue, Chair?
Maybe let's see, Honorable Nevot, is that a point of order?
Chairperson, I would prefer that each member can raise their names, but maybe to assist Honorable Mkhwebane, maybe the Secretariat can type that person's name who was nominated by each member in the chat, just to make it easier, because it's very difficult for me, you know, to have to look around with the interpreter there. So maybe the Secretariat can just type the name there. We all have the list. We've all gone through the CVs. So I would rather follow each member who brings their nominations and the Secretariat just to help us type the person's name in the chat, just to make it easier.
Thank you. Thank you. Can the Secretariat do that?
Can you unpin Honorable Neodruchen, please?
Thank you. Honorable Mkhwebane, is that a new hand or an old hand?
Old hand.
Thank you very much. Let's proceed. Honorable Jela.
Thank you very much, Chair. And then this one also, Chair, she has worked as a prosecutor for Regional Court, also in the IPIT. And then she has been in public service for over 10 years. I think it's one other criteria that is needed. So I think in short, I thought this one for me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Let's hear other members, other nominations. Advocate Honorable Xola.
It was fine, Chair, even if you said Advocate Xola, it would have been fine. I'm fine with it.
Congratulations, Advocate.
Chair, I'll just make 2 nominations after having gone through the CVs that have been shared with us. And Chair, I think it is important to note that the CVs have also been shared with the public for commentary. So it's expected that all of us in the committee and the public knows and understands the capacity and the capabilities of a nominee or an applicant having been proposed for shortlisting. Chair, I will propose the name of Advocate Shadrack Debiele. He was a male advocate. Is not a member of any bar associated with the General Council. Has appeared in the Labour Appeal Court, the Supreme Court of Appeal, the Constitutional Court. But part of what is more important that made me so interested in this candidate is that the person who has a track record of doing pro bono work, representing in particular the indigent people that we seek to represent. Has served as an acting judge in the Limpopo division. And part of what makes me so interested again, Chair, is that this which we're talking about here is a young person. He is a 34-year-old advocate. So I would like to propose his name, Chair, to be part of the people who are shortlisted for interviews. The second Chair would be Advocate Aaron Bunguzana. Chair, that is the second name, who's an advocate, an admitted advocate of the High Court, has worked for the National Prosecuting Authority. So he has been doing work on behalf of the state. He is actually a deputy director of public prosecutions. He has more than 24 years of experience working for the NPA. So, Chair, I can count a lot. I don't want to waste the time of the committee, for I know that the committee has received all the CVs for the candidate. So, Chair, I just wanted to move for those 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Nevot Johan.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to everyone. I support both of the previous members' nominations. So we have 3 names now. So I support all of those. I'd like to nominate 2 or 3 names. Bear with me while I just look from my other device or check on my other device. The surname Mokhaladi, she's also a female, Motsego, has a jurist and an LLB degree. Worked at a state attorney, worked at SALGA as well as the Office of the Public Protector. Ponatsejo Mukhalari, sorry. 24 years experience in various positions in the Office of the PP as well as under 3 previous public protectors. And then also an admitted attorney of the High Court. Then my second name is Lindiwe Mkizi, Mkizi, sorry, also female. Also LLB, admitted attorney of the High Court. I missed the years, but it's 16 years all in all experience. And legal degree in adjudication, legal research, management, as well as dispute resolution experience. She's a member of the SAULA, South African Women's Legal Organization or Association. I'd like to add one more name, also a female. Marie Marriott. She has a BCom law degree, LLB. She's admitted as an advocate, not an attorney, an advocate of the High Court. In 2005, she was admitted. So all in all, her experience, she has a lot of experience in work. She was a junior state advocate at the DPP's office in Johannesburg and Pretoria. She also served as a registrar at the Department of Justice. So I think for now, I'd like to nominate those 3 people. Thank you, Secretariat. It really assists us if you put all the names on the chat. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nivot-Drogen.
And Pin.
Any further nominations? How many do we have now? Do we have 6?
No other hands.
Yes, Chair. Okay, we have 6 for now. We've got Chair, it's 6. It's I think it's 4 females and 2 males.
Okay. Any further nominations?
Chair, I'm still opening my gadget. Please, can you just give me a small time?
Okay. Let me start with Advocate Mkhwebane, then I'll come back to you.
Yes, Chair, my apology, Chair. You can give other names, other honorables, even after Comrade Honorable Mkhwebane. I'll come back when I'm ready. Thank you, Chair. My apology for distraction.
Thank you. Advocate Mkhwebane, can you proceed?
Yes, Chairperson. From the list, I support the one name of Advocate Ibeila already. Honorable Ngola has dealt with that. The second one is Fumisa Ngele. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree and in addition an LLB degree from UCT. Social sciences is critical as well because the kind of work of public protector, you need somebody who's very much glued up in social issues. She has worked in various places, peace builder, international relations, parliamentary group, monitoring group in parliament. I think we know the researchers there, how brilliant they also support us with that information. She was a pupil advocate at Babasa, Johannesburg Society of Advocates. And then she's practicing as an advocate. She practiced as an advocate. She was the Cricket South Africa Transformation Ombudsman, and she specializes what is critical as a deputy public protector. Again, one of the key issues is for that person to conduct a lot of mediation, alternative dispute resolution, because 90% of the work of the public protector is resolved through that process of mediation, conciliation. So she also has that capability. So I'll recommend Ungele. Thank you.
Thank you. If I may ask Advocate Mkhwebane, does she have 10 years experience in public service or in law?
In public administration? No.
Public administration.
She has 10 years experience in the legal profession, Chairperson.
Okay.
Let's just check that. I thought we will analyze all those, but that's the candidate I present.
Thank you very much. So if she has 10 years experience, that's fine. Thank you. As a lawyer, that's fine. Any other nominations? That is 7 now.
Can I get that list so that I don't confuse? Can they flag the list so that I can give my nomination, the last one? Okay, I support. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, team. I support all those names. I think I mean to say another name, which is Mavidula. I don't know if I don't see it here, Chair. Advocate. He's not there.
Oh, Ms. Mamchele.
Come again?
Sorry, Mamchele, who are you referring to?
I can't call it. I can't pronounce it. It's
Mavidula. It's a male. AV number 20.
Yes. We don't have him there.
No, we don't.
On the list. Yes,
No,
can I propose? Can I propose Victor Mavidula? He has got BPROC LLB. He also he's also a provincial manager for the South African Human Rights Commission in Limpopo. And I'll just mention few, Chair, so that you can see. Has worked in the IPIT. I think it's with gender equality things. It's another a good add-on, Chair. And then he has also he currently serves as a magistrate and states that he has 16 years comprehensive legal background, Chair. I think he also is a member of South African Women's Lawyer Association. I think, no, I mixed with Lindy. I think my thing is failing me, Chair. But this one, Chair, I have my notes have just mixed up. But I propose this one. He qualifies. He has a pre-POC, it also have LLB, and then he's registered for LLM, Chair. My notes are just mixed up with that one of Lindy. No, I think the information that I gave, Chair, without bringing confusion, is right. I jumped to another candidate, but the one that I gave at first is the correct one. That is an admitted attorney at the High Court. In the year here, they're saying it's 2205. But I think with that confusion, I want to apologize because my notes are mixed up. But that is the name that I'm proposing, Chair. Thank you.
I think he has been a provincial manager of the South African Human Rights Commission from 2012 to date. I think that is the provincial manager talking about, Mr. Victor Mabindula. Okay, can we move to the next nominee, Honorable Janji?
Chair, I just want to add just one name before I propose something else. I just want to propose the name of Tsidiso Tipanyane, who would have even succeeded to be nominated for the public protector interviews. Want to add is a former CEO of South African Human Rights Commission. So I want to propose that name, Chair. And I think it looks like this is taking us to 10 or so. If there are no other further nominations, then I would want to propose closure. But before that, I would ask that the Secretariat assist us, the people who are nominating, that they meet that minimum 10-year. Because if we're going to shortlist people who don't meet that, we're going to get a challenge. You would have seen in the public protector, would have said somebody who was asking why I'm not nominated and this one is nominated. So we must go on the safe ground before we conclude this, even if they have to have few minutes looking into the names, whether each of those meet the 10 years. For me, it's very critical. There's nothing wrong if we have got less than 10. I'm happy that so far women are more than men, but I wanted to add the name of Tsidiso Tipanyane. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. I think that will be in order, Honorable Judge, because I think the legislation is quite clear and prescriptive, especially on the minimum 10 years. So what I would suggest we do, if there is no opposition to closure of nominations, that when we move to other reports, then the Secretariat would quickly go through the names and check that requirement. So before we adjourn, then we'll come back to get a report from the Secretariat as to if all of those candidates meet the minimum requirements in law as set out in the Public Protectors Act. So we give them time to do that work. Will that be in order?
Yes.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you very much. So do I have an opposition to the suggestion that we close nomination? None. So those are the proposed names, subject to that verification by Secretariat that will come back to us before we adjourn. Can we move to the next item on the agenda? Can we deal with the reports that will be tabled to the House on the magistrates, on the report of the Magistrate Commission? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 reports from the Magistrates Commission. We have received the report from the Magistrates Commission on the following magistrate: Mr. Bodlane, Ms. Govender, Mr. Yinka, Mr. Maharaj, Ms. Singh, Mr. Singh, and Mr. Rath. So what is left for us now is to have a discussion and to adopt the reports if we agree with them. There is a request for the upliftment of provisional suspension for Mr. Bodlane, so that for Ms. Bodlane, sorry, so that she can deal with the reconstruction of a record in the state versus Ndlovu to comply with the High Court order. That was the report on Mr. Bodlane. Can we have a discussion and get a sense whether do we agree with the upliftment of the provisional suspension of Mr. Bodlane? Or do you want members to go straight to the report without the discussions first? Well, I thought that we will have a discussion whether we agree or not, and then we go to the report on each magistrate. Honorable Janji.
Yeah, yes, Chair. On Ms. Bodlane, Chair, I want to propose that yes, we agree to that. Was this now another? Okay, this provisional uplifting of her suspension in order for her to reconstruct this matter. Remember when we met with the Magistrate Commission with Ms. Manaka, we indicated that this can't be an open-ended thing. And she would have indicated that it would take about a week or two for that reconstruction, so that when we go and present to Parliament, we should ourselves have a sense as to the upliftment is for a particular period if we're able to do that. Whether you're saying it's 2 months or 3 months, can't be an open-ended thing, because we're insisting on this issue. And it became clear that they themselves were agreeing with us that they needed to be more specific in relation to this. So I'm raising two things, Chair. I'm agreeing to the upliftment, provisional upliftment of that in order for that work to be done of reconstructing that particular judgment or case. But I'm not sure whether we want to just be silent when we go back and say it's just an upliftment without us insisting on certain things. So I need guidance there, but thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Breitenbach.
Thanks, Chair. Yes, I agree with Honourable Janki, and I just want to add that it can't possibly take 2 months to reconstruct a record. It shouldn't take more than, at the very, very most, a month. And I think that the upliftment should be very specific and very limited. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Should that be, because I think when I went through the report, I think there is where it is stated that the president of the regional court would from time to time update the Magistrates Commission. Do we need something stronger than that in the report, that we are agreeing subject for so many months?
No. Chair, we can't agree to such an open-ended we will report from time to time. Absolutely not. But we must give a time period. It must be for a limited time period. The magistrate is suspended. She's got nothing else to do. All she has to do is reconstruct the record. There's nothing else to do. It's not difficult. She takes her notes and she reconstructs the record. It gets done every single day. It shouldn't be more than a month. Absolutely tops 2 months, but not longer than that.
Thank you, Honorable Janji, followed by Honorable Mkhwebane.
Yes, Chair. I was actually going to support that, to say, to be specific, that that the upliftment when we present to the NA, that it is until the end of March. Remember, we rise at the end of March. We have no business in April as the NA. That upliftment is up until the end of March 2024. You will give whatever weeks that are remaining in February, and that's what you do. I also don't buy this regional court president's determination in terms of them from time to time, because from time to time it's what they have been doing, and we've sat with longer period of cases with that condition being in place. I also don't accept that. I think we must be more specific. Remember, we would have suspended this person, and now they came back to say please lift in order for this to happen. So it's a very specific case that we're dealing with, which remains within our control, and we must not open it up for unnecessarily kind of delays. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Mkhwebane.
Chairperson, I think even a month, it's a lot. But yeah, we're stretching it. And I don't know what else must the person, or what else will the person be doing? And even us, we just involving ourselves in this maladministration of leaving a person being suspended for such a long period of time. And again, this impacting on the person who's being incarcerated, or like the perpetrator, because they have rights, and this is definitely delaying their the finalization of their matter. So I agree that definitely we'll have to give it a time frame, and it must be communicated as such. And if that period passes, the person must just continue the suspension. And I think we can even demand that we have the date of finalization of their matter, so that we don't also perpetuate such delay.
Thank you very much. There seems to be a consensus on the fact that we need to give time frames. Just one question. For instance, if we have to agree with Honorable Judge's time frame of end of March, and the NCOP does not deal with this matter until end of March, because we were in a meeting with Honorable Judge and Honorable Mola in their other capacity, where we were given the tight deadlines and that the NCOP needs to meet, and they are running against time. Maybe shouldn't we say, Honorable Judge, end of April, so that the NCOP also, so that we have the same timeline. We make sure that, because the suspension is not by the National Assembly alone, it's by Parliament, that we have the same timelines with the NCOP. Honorable Judge.
Well, with that, in fact, then, Chair, you are helping me to shorten the proposal. Listening to Advocate Mkhwebane and Advocate Breitenbach, there is no reason why we shouldn't be saying that by 15th of March, mid-March, the NA, that this thing is done, to allow for because the NCOP will rise end April or early May. So we shouldn't even prolong it to that. We can shorten our determination and our deadline as NA, as this committee, as when we present, to say from the day because today is the 28th. So we already have given them a week already. So we give them 15 days to reconstruct whatever they need to reconstruct, so that you assist the NCOP for this thing not to be prolonged going to them. So you've just made it worse for me to shorten it and not stretch it to April. Thank you, Chair.
Yes. I think even maybe the Secretariat can assist us, because I think for me it's more of a procedural issue. The resolution should be the resolution of both houses. And I think there must be alignment of times by both houses, so that we do not have a situation where people can say NA proposed this date, and then it came to the NCOP. Maybe it goes to the NCOP after the 15th, or they process it after the 15th, and they give another date. I think that is where my dilemma is. Because we know that we were given that issue of green, amber, and red with regard to the legislations that are before the NCOP, they are swamped. So they might not deal with this issue now. And if they deal with this issue end of March or mid-April, so there would be a discrepancy in terms of date. The NA would have said we'll give you until end of March, and the NCOP would have dealt with the matter after that particular date, and the date would be different. That is where I just need guidance. Honorable Breitenbach.
Thank you, Chair. I think your proposal is a sound one. I support it.
So maybe we can say end of April, just so we can have interactions with our counterpart in the NCOP that this matter is quite urgent. It needs about a day or two. That at least by end of April, this matter is dispensed with. Will that be in order, members?
Yes.
Well, the compromise is supported.
Thank you very much. And then can we just go to the report, because I think the report would need to reflect this decision now. Can you flag? Sorry, sir.
Yes, Chair. No, I'll upload the report, Chair, but we're maybe suggesting something that can say we give the upliftment is for a month after the adoption of both houses. Let's say, for instance, if the NA adopts it next week, then the month will kick in after the NCOP is concurred. Then we say we give the upliftment will be a month after the adoption of both houses, or 2 weeks if you give the upliftment for 2 weeks, but it kicks in after the adoption of both houses, which then, because putting a date to it will, as you've said, Chair, because the issue is the time frame that the magistrate must get. So maybe if we say 2 weeks after the last date, or we say a month after the adoption of both houses.
Members, what do you say to that? Honorable Janji.
2 weeks after adoption of both houses.
Members, do we agree with that? 2 weeks after the adoption of both houses?
Yes, Chair.
Thank you. Any counter? None. So the report should reflect that as 2 weeks, because I remember when they were presenting to the Magistrates Commission after doing their consultation, they were saying that it can take a day. So 2 weeks would be more than enough. Can you flag the report then? Or should we go through the other reports before so that we allow the Secretariat to do the necessary changes to this report?
Yes, Chair, let's go to.
Yes, that's better.
Yes, yes, Chair.
Okay. Honorable Nivot Johan, your hand is up.
Chair,
Can I ask the Secretariat to just put the report on again before we go on to the next?
No, we're still going to come. We're still going to come back to the report. We're going to have a discussion on each magistrate.
Okay, because there is a correction. There is a correction just to be made on that report. Okay, no, that's fine. Thank you, Chair. When we come back, I'll mention it.
Yes, okay. And then can we go to Magistrate Govender? She is charged with changing a plea of guilt to a plea of non-guilt and acquittal of an accused without a trial, and willfully and unlawfully providing false or incorrect statements to the reviewing judge. So this one is for suspension pending the disciplinary hearing. What do members say? Honorable Maseko Chele.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think I support that, Chair, that's ill discipline. And it is a gross, I think that's it's a misconduct. The fact that they are taking it for disciplinary processes, I think it's correct. So I support that, Chair, as they proposed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any seconder?
Yes, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any objections? No objections. We agree to the suspension. And then we, Honorable Jele, can you lower your hand? Thank you very much. Can we move to the next one? Magistrate Hinga, who is accused of sexual assault. In fact, he was found guilty of sexual assault. And the suggestion is that he must be removed from office.
Sorry, Chairperson.
Sia?
Sorry, Chair, my apologies. I wanted to double check with you, Chair. You're going to discuss the magistrates and then adopt the report, or we're discussing them all first? Or because I thought.
No, we're discussing all the magistrates and we'll come back to the reports.
Okay. Sorry, Chair. Thanks.
Magistrate Hinga, Honorable Maseko Chele.
Okay, I agree. This one must go. It's non-negotiable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chanje.
Supported, Chair, and I think this is, remember, one of our key issues when we meet with the commission on whatever date we meet with them. That this is a matter they would have entertained for some kind of discussion and would have been sloppy on it when it is so clear what to do. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. In fact, I must report on the developments in that regard before we adopt the reports. I think we need to update the committee as to how far we have gone in ensuring that that meeting takes place. And then we move to the next one. Mr. Maharaj be removed on the basis of continued ill health. Do we agree with that report?
Chair, my apology, I did not. Can I speak, Chair? Yes, thank you. It's a pity that his matter, his sickness caused him this, that he must be removed because of that. You know, because he does not have any report of ill discipline or wrongdoing. You know, it's a pity. We are doing maybe if there was any other thing, but because of his ill health, there's nothing that can be done. I think I'll support the report of the commission because of that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any seconder? Any seconder?
Honorable Roshan says she seconds.
Thank you. Any objections? No objections. The report is agreed to. Mr. H.C. Rath, he was running a Ponzi scheme in the form of people investing in a property development in the Ivory Coast. He was subsequently found guilty by the Magistrate Commission, and the request is that he be removed from office. Any Honorable Janji?
I think he must be given more time and space to go and build the Ponzi scheme outside of the magistracy. I support that.
Yeah, no, maybe we should put it differently, that because doing a Ponzi scheme is still illegal. Maybe the police would make.
Yeah, at least when he does it outside of the magistracy, the law enforcement agencies must just do their work.
No, okay. Thank you very much. Any seconder?
I second, Chair.
Honorable Maseko Jele seconds. Any objections? No objections. And then Ms. Magistrate Singh, here is for provisional suspension. He sent threatening WhatsApp messages to journalists following the publication of an article. He lied under oath. Just a list of misconducts that he's allegedly to have committed. So the request is that he be provisionally suspended pending the disciplinary hearing. What do members say?
Supported, Chair.
Honorable Jele support. Honorable Bittenbach.
Second.
Thank you, Honorable Bittenbach. Seconds. Any objections? No objections. Agreed to. Can we now go back to the report of Magistrate Bodlane? Were you able to amend the report to reflect the decision that we took? So yeah. Adjustment is for 2 weeks after the adoption of the report by the National Assembly and the National. Yes, no, that's good. Thank you very much. Can you go to page 1? Any corrections on page 1? Can you go down? Page 2. Honorable Nigo Truchen.
Thank you, Chair. 5E. On 5E, there's a correction there with provisional. The spelling is incorrect. Thank you very much. That's all for now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nigo Truchen. That is page 3, né? Page 3 is corrected. Page 4. Can I now put the report as corrected? Any move for the adoption of the report as corrected?
I move, Chair.
Honorable Mola moves. Any seconder?
Seconded.
Honorable
I
Mkhwebane
second.
seconds. Any objections? No objections. The report is agreed to. The report of Ms. Govender. Thank you. Any corrections on page 1? page 2. On page 3. Any mover for the adoption of the report?
I move, Chair.
I second, Chair.
Honorable Mkhwebane moves and Honorable Livotrukhan seconds. Any objections? No objections. The report is agreed to. The report of Mr. Yinga. Any corrections on page 1? On page 2? On page 3? Any mover for the adoption of the report?
Chair, I move that the report be adopted. Thank you.
Honorable Nkola moves. Any seconder?
A second, Chair.
Honorable Masebo Jelo seconds. Any objections? No objections. The report is agreed to. The report of Magistrate Maharaj. I must indicate that when I was going through the report, the Secretariat as procedural officers would assist. I was not comfortable with the naming of the actual health problem. I remember, I think we did a report in 2019, and there was an objection in the House when we named the actual kind of sickness that the person has. Can I be assisted? That maybe we can say, we can just talk to the continued ill health, because if somebody else has got a disease that is stigmatized, and he or she wouldn't want the public to know, are we going to write it down in parliamentary reports? What is the view of the members?
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Jere.
I support Comrade Honorable Britain Bastion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe let's go to other reports and give time for the Secretariat just to look at this issue. Can we go to, is it the report of Mr. Rath, Honorable Janje's friend? Any corrections on page 1?
Yankee probably invested in that scheme.
That's a brief.
Maybe that is why he is so angry.
That's why he's so keen for it to be carried on in the Ivory Coast.
Yeah. Any corrections on page 1? Now can we go up, please? Yes. Any corrections on page 1? Go down. Page 2. Page 3. Any mover for the adoption of the report?
Chair, I move.
Honorable Ngola moves. Any seconder?
I second, Chair, Honorable New Addition.
Honorable Newbot seconds. Any objections? No objections. The report is agreed to. Provisional suspension of Mr. Singh. Thank you. Any corrections on page 1? Page 2. Thank you. Any move for the adoption of the report?
I move, Chair.
Honorable Ngola moves. Any seconder?
I second, Chair.
Honorable Mkhwebane seconds. Any objections? No objections. The report is agreed to. Committee Secretary, are you done with the amendments to the report of Mr. Maharaj? Okay. Any corrections on page 1? Page 2? Page 3? Page 4? Any move for the adoption of the report?
I move, Chair.
Honorable Newvote Johan moves. Any seconder?
Seconded, Chair.
Honorable Mola seconds. Any objection? No objections. The report is agreed to. Can we now move to the draft amendments to directives in terms of the Child Justice Act of 2008? Can we deal with that report? Can you fly the report? Any corrections on page 1? On page 2? Any move for the adoption of the report?
I move, Chair.
Honorable Newvote Johan moves. Any seconder? Any seconders? My seconder.
I second, Chair.
Honorable Masego Chele seconds. Any objection? No objections. The report is agreed to. I think we are done. Members, we have communicated with the Magistrate Commission to have that meeting as requested by the members. They've given us 2 dates. It's the date of the 8th of March and the date of the 28th of March. The decision, 1, is to which date do we choose, 2, whether it should be physical or virtual. I would suggest that we choose virtual because we might have, if we have to go to Pretoria, we might have challenges with our chief whips because in the next few weeks, the House program is going to be very full with a lot of bills to be passed. So they would need full attendance. So we might not get permission to fly to Pretoria. But we ensure that it will be a meeting between us and them, which might be on virtual. Any comments?
Chair, agree to virtual, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Janji.
If Chair, there's no other option, well, we might have to go for virtual, but this is going to be our first meeting with, and it would have been good to have that an in-person meeting. And in any case, the meetings in Parliament are going to be hybrid as well. But I wouldn't stand on the way of that, because a meeting of this nature with the issues that we want to raise, you would have wanted to have that in person and really not virtual. But if it's beyond our control, I won't go to war for a virtual meeting.
Thank you. Honorable Breitenbach, followed by Honorable Jelle.
Thanks, Chair. Yes, I agree. If it's unavoidable, virtual will work, but I would much prefer in person.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Maseko Jelle.
Yes, Chair, they've taken my words too. If it was possible, physical was going to be the best. But if it's beyond, there's nothing that you can do. It's still fine. But physical.
Okay. So, but the date, we have two dates, the 8th and the 28th.
Chair,
Honorable Mkhwebane.
raise my hand. I propose the 8th of March because before the rush or because there will be now towards the end of the month, everyone would want to finalize and push as much as possible. So if possible, the 8th of March, physical will be better. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Janji.
I support the 8th of March, Chair, physical, because 28th would be very hectic. That's when it would be needed to be in space. So I support the 8th.
Thank you very much. So I think what we'll need to do, one, we would need the leaders of political parties to engage with their whips, and the whip of the ANC to engage with the chief whip. We will write an application today to the House Chair for a physical meeting in Pretoria on the 8th of March. And then if we don't get a favorable response, then we can revert to the virtual meeting. But let's prioritize the 8th of March for the meeting. Is that in order?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned.
Sorry, Chair.
Yes, so yeah.
Just to double check, Chair, with the issue of the check finalizing.
Yes, sorry, yes. No, thank you for that. Have you checked the names and whether they qualify?
Yes, Chair, we've done a background check with colleagues. The only name that seems to have that doesn't qualify to have the 10 years experience, it's Mele, Chair. Just double check if it's a miss on this. because they got their LLB, I think, in 2016. Let me just try and get their CVs to reflect.
I suspected that, Honorable Mkhwebane, because I was also, at first glance, I was highly impressed by even the motivations. But when I looked at the CV closely, I picked that up also.
Okay. If it's not completely 10 years, Chairperson, it's fine. She can be removed.
Thank you very much. So we don't replace it with another name, we just removed the name.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you very much. So how many names do we have now?
We have 8, Chair.
Is it possible to do 8 names in one day?
It's possible, Chair, if we can sacrifice, and it was if you, I think Advocate Mkhwebane made a compelling case. If we can sacrifice and start at 9, because the starting time is important so that you don't have late comings. We start at 9 and then we stretch the ending time into latest 7 or 8 o'clock.
Any objections to that? None. We agree that we'll have it over one day. We'll start in the morning until late, until we are done. But it shouldn't take us later than 7. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair.
Recording stopped.